Hi everyone, my name is Emily White, and I did my research paper and presentation on Duolingo's effectiveness for adult language learners. So why might adults choose to use Duolingo? The main appeal of Duolingo is that it's free. Adults may have financial restrictions that prevent them from attending formal language classes, whether that be not being able to actually pay for them themselves, or maybe they don't have the means to um, pay for childcare while they go and attend language classes. The second biggest appeal would be that they can use it anytime, anywhere. Duolingo is a mobile app, so if they have it on their phone, they can do their lessons anywhere that they have their phone, which is pretty much everywhere. So it fits into any schedule. Duolingo offers over 40 languages, and users can choose to learn one language at a time, or they can choose to learn multiple languages at a time. Um, it has a gamified design, so modules and lessons are set up like a game. This kind of takes away the feeling that language learning is another task. There's something that they have to do or cross off their to-do list. They can also connect with their friends and engage in challenges, so that adds an extra layer of fun and social connection. Duolingo is designed to be used daily. The lessons are short, they're about 5 to 10 minutes each. These lessons are in different modules, and then in each module or each lesson has different levels. So the activities in these levels are fill in the blanks, matching, mock conversations, reading, listening, and translation exercises. So the modules and lessons are scaffolded in that they start off with basic vocabulary and advance to more complex vocabulary and grammar within each lesson in the module. And these lessons are based on specific topics such as travel or food. So Duolingo was developed using the behaviorist approach. We can see this in the gamified design. It's fun and engaging. It keeps users coming back and interacting with the material more and more. This is especially useful for the development of reading and writing and basic vocabulary, grammar, and phrases. Um, the app does use feedback to reinforce the new behaviors. You would see positive feedback, such as getting little messages such as great job or correct when you answer something correctly. And then you also get to advance on the learning path and through the levels. Negative feedback, you wouldn't be able to move on until you accurately answered the question or completed the task. And while it would tell you that you incorrectly answered or incorrectly completed the task, it's not going to give you very detailed explanations as to what you did wrong. It's just really going to tell you that you did it wrong, basically. So it'd be up to the user to figure out what the mistake was or how to fix the mistake. The app uses two different methods of instruction. The first is theme-based instruction. So as I said before, all the activities are centered around specific themes. This is especially useful for the development of context-specific phrases. Um, so if you're visiting a foreign country or you're on vacation, it'd be especially useful to be able to order food or ask for directions in that language, or discuss music or travel at a basic level if you went to a gift shop or something like that. Um, the second method is the grammar translation method. So the app teaches users to read and produce structurally accurate output, and users must complete the activities accurately before they can move on. This promotes noticing and metalinguistic awareness. Um, so in beginning activities, you would see basic vocabulary and grammar, and then in future activities, you would use what you've learned, the basic vocabulary and grammar, and then you would apply this to more complex structures in reading and writing. The app does use scaffolding. So early on, you might have something like a drag and drop activity where you drag different words into place to create a structurally accurate sentence. And then later on, it would be a little more complex where users would actually type the words into the blanks themselves to create structurally accurate sentences. So in my research, I looked at two specific studies that I wanted to touch on. The first was evaluating reading and listening outcomes of beginning level Duolingo courses. And they found that upon completion of beginning level material in Spanish, Duolingo users achieved an intermediate low proficiency in reading and a novice high proficiency in listening. In French, users achieved an intermediate mid-proficiency in reading and a novice high proficiency in listening. And they say that this is comparable to proficiencies of university students in their fourth semesters of formal language classes. The factors that would influence these results, though, would be the quality of time that these users spent in interacting with the app. So one way that users can increase the quality of time is by leveling up. So leveling up refers to within each of the different modules, there's different levels for each activity, and users only have to complete the base level. They're not required to do anything beyond that level. But if one were to level up, it would mean completing the more advanced levels and interacting with the material in more advanced and complex ways. Um, and this had a positive effect on reading and listening, especially. Considerations of these findings, though, is while they were comparable to university students in terms of reading and listening, their outcomes were not comparable in terms of communicative ability. So if the user's main goal is to be able to read or write or listen to music or a podcast, then Duolingo might be an effective tool for them. But if they are wanting to advance in their communicative ability, which is often the case with Duolingo users, Duolingo might fall short in what it can offer the user. The second study I looked at was the impact of Duolingo in developing students' linguistic competence. And this study looked at using Duolingo in conjunction with formal classes. So the participants were 40 students taking English classes in Mexico, 20 students were in the control group taking formal classes only, and 20 students were in the test group in which they added Duolingo for an additional 7 weeks in conjunction with their formal language classes. So the findings of the study were that the test group outperformed the control group in spelling, pronunciation, and dictation. So the students who used Duolingo in conjunction with their formal language classes advanced in spelling, pronunciation, and dictation. Again, while the test group might have outperformed in those areas, they didn't outperform in terms of communicative ability. So in both studies, neither groups of students really advanced in communicative ability. So again, if the goal is not communicative ability, Duolingo might be a great resource, but if it is communicative ability, it might fall short. So I touched on some of the main benefits and appeals of Duolingo earlier on, but I wanted to talk about some additional benefits. First, it provides an accessibility to language learning that adults otherwise wouldn't have due to scheduling or financial restrictions. So being free and mobile, users now have a means of beginning their language learning that they otherwise wouldn't have. The app also provides reduced anxiety, but really only in the sense that users aren't forced to speak in front of classmates and teachers as they would be in the classroom. The app promotes noticing and metalinguistic awareness. So through the feedback, users are alerted to their errors, but because the feedback is not very detailed and doesn't give, full grammar explanations, users have to think about the material and how to correct their mistakes. Again, the gamification, it encourages collaboration with friends, and this does add to motivation a little bit. Some of the drawbacks of Duolingo, it seems that it's best suited as a tutor rather than a teacher. So while students may see increases in literacy in terms of reading and writing ability and maybe listening, users can't really expect proficiency in terms of communication ability. So the app provides reduced anxiety, but it doesn't give users very genuine practice with the L2, and it actually might increase anxiety when users go try to speak to native speakers and engage in genuine interactions. So the app does provide mock conversations to try to build communicative ability, but they're often unnatural sounding, and the app is criticized for producing speakers who sound odd to native speakers. And then because of the overall lack of motivation and accountability for users, most users don't persist beyond the beginning levels. So they're not really advancing in their language learning to a great degree if they're not advancing beyond just the beginning levels. So with the benefits and drawbacks of Duolingo in mind, I've kind of put together some recommendations for use or how I would personally use the app. So users should use the app daily. keep up with their daily lessons so that they can keep their knowledge fresh and add to their understanding of the target language. Users should increase the quality of time that they spend in an app, and the main way that they can do this is by leveling up. This provides them with exposure to target structures in more complex and challenging ways and helps deepen their understanding of grammar. Users should find reasons to be motivated, so they can do this through integrated motivation, such as if they're going to visit a foreign country or go on a vacation and they want to connect with the culture. This might be a great way to stay motivated, is to learning the language so that they can do this. Another way that users can stay motivated is to follow their friends and engage in challenges. And then another recommendation is to use Duolingo as a study tool, not a teacher. So Duolingo can only help users advance in so many ways or areas. So it's not really a replacement for traditional classes, but it can be used as a study tool in conjunction with their classes. Last, users should find ways to meaningfully interact with the target language. So like I said, Duolingo doesn't really provide its users with genuine communication. So users should take it upon themselves to go out and try to find native speakers of the language, to try to practice speaking and engaging with the language, to try to advance their communicative ability that way. Some considerations for use. Users need to have reasonable expectations for what they can achieve in the app. So like I said, there's no teacher, so users really have to have reasonable expectations for what Duolingo can provide to them. Again, users should think about the areas of proficiency that Duolingo is particularly useful in developing. So this would be literacy skills such as reading, writing, and translating, but really not so much in developing communicative ability. Because of the lack of communicative activities and ability of the app to help users advance, users may need to find supplements to try to help develop their communicative ability. So overall, Duolingo is not especially useful in communication ability. So if that's the main goal of the user, then they may need to find something else, such as traditional language classes, or they may need to remain motivated to go out and find genuine conversation practice. All right, and these are my references. Thank you for watching.